Hey guys, this is Faraz Mushtaq and welcome back to today's video. We'll be discussing about how to make audiences or targeting specifically for Facebook ads. Up until now, what we essentially learned is that how is it that you make a business manager. The second thing that we learned is how is it that you make a ad account or set up an ad account, and then we learned how to essentially make a campaign, and then we learned how to make an ad set. And then in today's video we'll be discussing about how is it that you can target people on Facebook if you're a coach or a consultant. But before that, if you still haven't liked or subscribed or commented on my video, please make sure that you do so. So let's get right into the tutorial for now. So assuming that you already have a business manager setup, you have launched a particular campaign, which is again, let's say either published or in draft, and you essentially have made the ad set. The next thing is that we essentially have to select the audience over here, which essentially lies to the audience control. Now, Facebook essentially plays around with these sections more or less every single year, let's say every 6 months, etc. So at the point of making this video, I'm shooting this, so let's see how and why Facebook changes this as we proceed ahead in time. So just move over to the audience control section over here, and then essentially by default Facebook has advantage plus audience. Essentially what advantage plus audience means is that Meta searches for the criteria for more specific audiences to give system the flexibility to get recommended settings, these control to create a broad audience. Essentially what a broad audience means is that broad audience means that it's 18 to 65 males and females and no interest. So Facebook will try to select from the broad ranges of interest and then pick out your best audience from them. But as a beginner, I wouldn't suggest that you rely more on broad audience or open targeting, as you might say so. Instead, a better approach is closed targeting or interest-based targeting. Both are the same things. So in order to make a closed targeting audience, essentially what you have to do is that you click on show more options and then select the locations. Over here, we can just select from reach people living in or recently in this location. You'll be selecting the country or the city or the state, or what is it that you're targeting, where is it that you're targeting. Are you targeting the entire world? In that case, if you are, then you can write worldwide. Let's see if Facebook has that option, or yeah, worldwide. Not really. Click on global. Let's select New Zealand. Let's select Asia. Yeah. And then let's select Africa. So keep selecting the countries that you basically have to target. In our case, let's stick to the United States. Just by the way, if you haven't selected any country, by default Facebook will essentially target the entire world. So let's select United States over here. Also, the next point is that we can also add inclusions. Essentially what inclusions means is that, let's say if in the United States you just don't want to target California, you don't want to target Alaska, you don't want to target any specific city, any specific location, etc., you can do so by clicking on add exclusion, and then let's add our desired state, California, in that case. All right, yeah, so Facebook won't be targeting California. This is how you basically exclude a certain geography, but we don't want to do that over here, so just cross that, and then this is how locations basically are added. Now for the minimum age, essentially we have to, minimum age essentially is different for different countries. It's 18 for the US, in Indonesia it's 20, in Thailand it's 21. So let's select the minimum age, assuming that you're a coach or a consultant. Perhaps let's stick to 25 maybe, yeah. And then custom audiences. We'll be delving into the custom audiences in a while. Languages. Now languages is super important. Most of the people get confused over here. See, languages, we can select English, but it is much more appropriate to go for a language in which the language is in minority. For example, if you want to select English speakers based in Saudi Arabia, then that's a good option. But if you already are selecting US, there's no need to add English over here. But for example, if you want to target Spanish people living in the US, then that's a good idea to perhaps have Spanish, select Spanish all or Spanish Spain. But if let's say the language is being spoken by the masses or the majority, then we do not need to select the language in this case. So let's uncheck all of this, right? And then we'll be delving into the custom audiences in a while. Let's scroll down. And then over here, Facebook gives us the option to switch to original audience options, and we'll be doing that right away. So click on use original audiences, and this is where, we'll be playing around with a lot of options that Facebook essentially has to offer. Now, on the ages, we have to select the age criteria where, we want to target people. So if you're a coach or a consultant, perhaps having an age bracket of, let's say, 25 to 54 is something that, we can look forward to. So let's select 25 to 54. Genders as both males, females, and then advantage detailed targeting. Essentially what advantage detailed targeting is that Facebook has got a huge database of interests, behaviors, job titles, etc. that we can select to. So if let's say if you are a fitness coach, so let's select a few interests. Let's select fitness, physical fitness, sure. And let's see the audience definition over here. Estimated audience size is 68 million to 80 million. Sure, let's select some of the other ones: physical fitness, health and wellness, and then weight training, bodybuilding, etc. Now, if you are adding interest on top of one another, it is called a stack. So it is defined as interest stacking, right? But for example, if you want to define further, so let's say people who are interested in fitness and are also interested in, let's say, coaching, then we are narrowing down the interest, which is essentially called flex targeting. So we have two or more than two targeting options. Number one is we have open targeting, where we do not target based on interest, but we go broad. So broad targeting or open targeting. Number two is interest targeting. Single interest targeting, for example, if you just want to target a single interest such as physical exercise or physical fitness, sure. The other one is interest stacking, where essentially we stack the interest together, and then we have the flex targeting. So we're looking at 4 targeting options over here, right? This is how you basically target, and then languages and all of that stuff. So this is how you basically target. Now, we discussed about open targeting, we discussed about interest stacking, we discussed about flex targeting, where you essentially keep on editing, and you keep on adding and defining further, narrowing down, niching down. And let's talk about single interest. For example, if you just want to pick out a single interest such as fitness, which again is a very broad interest. So let's pick out fitness, physical fitness. This is just one interest, right? So what we'll do as a naming convention is that we're gonna single fitness interest, right? And then when it comes to the naming convention, select USA 25 to 54, which again is our age bracket. Males and females, AP stands for automatic placements. Now, that is how you basically target based on single interest. Now, when it comes to exclusions, essentially what custom audiences are people who have already interacted with your business on Facebook. For example, those can be people who have opened your lead form, people who have seen your ad, have interacted with your Facebook page or been to your website, etc. Those are all custom audiences. And as a good rule of thumb, it is always a great idea to exclude custom audiences from the campaigns that you're essentially launching. So in order to make a custom audience, what you have to do basically is that click on create new. Facebook gives you 2 options, custom audience and then lookalike audience. Now, essentially what a lookalike audience means is that you're trying to say to Facebook that, hey, Facebook, I have a database of people who, let's say, have interacted with my business. Based on these databases of people, create similar audiences or lookalike audiences based on that. So Facebook will do that for you. So this is what lookalike audiences is. But as a rule of thumb, lookalike audiences are made from custom audiences. So if you do not have any custom audiences, we have to make custom audiences first, right? So let's select custom audiences, and then we have to select the sources. By sources, I mean, what's the source? Do you want to make custom audiences based on website traffic or catalog or your video, your lead form, or your shopping, or your event, etc. So for this particular tutorial, let's pick out website and then click on next over here. let's select the source. Essentially what a source, as I mentioned, is the pixel, right, or the data set basically. And then events, I mean, do you want to make a custom audience of all website visitors? Sure, why not? And then retention, 30 days again is a good idea. So let's name this as CS stands for custom audiences, urban sketching, which again is our dummy, sort of like the account. And then let's name this all website visitors for a period of 30 days. All right. 30D, yeah, create audiences. This is how you basically create a custom audience. So Facebook will be doing that for you. And essentially, let's search for the custom audiences that you have built. I have lots of custom audiences over here. Select the custom audience that you had built. And this is how you basically exclude the custom audience, right? Reach custom audiences plus, essentially what that means is that Facebook will reach out beyond your given interest if that is likely to improve performance. You can tick that. This is beneficial, especially in the case when your audience is very limited. For example, in our case, our audience is extremely big. We have 80 million over here, right? But in case if your estimated audience size is very small, let's say 100,000 visitors, an audience size of 100,000, then it is a good idea to, let's say, pick up exclusions and then reach people, and then tick mark or check mark this particular button which says reach people beyond your custom audience when you know it is likely to improve performance. So this is how you basically move forward with your target audience or your target ideal customer avatar, etc. So yeah, that's this for today's tutorial. Moving forward, what we'll be discussing is how is it that you can make ads, high converting ads. Until then, take good care of yourself, and I'm also offering a free ebook called the 11 social media ads secret finally revealed. In case if you haven't availed that, make sure that you check out the link in the description below. Until next time, see you then.